Hello and welcome to another video. I'd like to show you Google Docs in this one. Another application of Google. This one's particularly useful for sharing documents between groups of people in different locations. So if you have something you want everyone to be able to see and add to, and you want them to also know it's the latest version, this is very useful for that. There's no real way to do it otherwise. Internally, you'll have your own folders, but if you want to be able to share between different groups, this is a good way to do it. So from the Google page, if you're not already, you need to sign in. And along the top left here is all the Google apps. If Google Docs isn't showing, click on the little drop down arrow and go to Documents. Okay, and you'll see mine here, which has a whole lot of information already. Now over on the far left, you'll see the two main buttons to create a new folder or to upload one. You can also change in the little menu here what you're looking at. If something you want to find isn't showing up, it's probably because of what you've got selected here. Now you can either create a new document directly into Google Docs, you can create a Word document, a presentation, a spreadsheet, a form, or use one of their templates, or probably more likely you'll want to upload something. So click on Upload. Now just like attaching an email to a file, this is how we upload. So you'll need to select the files to upload, click on that, find the file you want, double click, and it'll load it up. Now here I've got selected Convert Documents to Google Docs formats. You want to do this so that you can actually edit it and view it within Google Docs. If you don't, it'll just store it up there. Now the format's not exactly the same, and some people find it a little difficult, but it's worth it for the sharing options. Okay, so it loads it up here. If you want to upload more, you can select more files, or just go Start Upload. The little bar slides across. Okay, and when you get the tick, it's ready to go, and you can go back to Google Docs up here. And you'll see it sitting now on the top of any other documents you've got. Now there's a few things. You can either go into it and do it from there, or along the top here you've got the options to share. You can delete or rename it. There's also more actions here, but you have to have something selected. So if I select it and go more actions, you can change the owner. There's a few things you can do, but let's actually just look at the key thing of sharing it. So if you just click on it, make sure your little finger's on the document name, click on it, it'll load up in Google Docs. So here we have the Google Docs menu. It's almost exactly the same as a spreadsheet in this case. Some of the things you're used to having maybe in Excel won't be there. The important thing though is, if we go across to the far right to share, and click, you can invite people to look at it. Okay, so click on Invite People, and you just invite them by their email address. Any email address will work. You can invite them to be able to edit the document, or invite them to be able to view it. Okay, and this will send a message to them. When you do this and push send, it'll send off the link to them, so you might want to send a message as well. And from here you can see who has access, so obviously in this one it's only me, and you can play around with the permissions as well. Okay. The other key thing in here, you can also set the notification rules. Okay, this means you'll get an email at certain points when changes are made, if anything on the sheet is changed, and you can either get it with a daily digest of a summary of things that are happening all the time, or an email as soon as something happens. Now this is, to give you an example of this in action, if I go back out, something we've set up here is an IT issues log. Okay, so we have an North Melbourne Language and Learning has an external IT contractor. We've set this up, so every time I put a job in here, he gets an email to know that there's an issue. Okay, and then he can go in and put in, for example, how long it will take. The manager puts in whether she approves it then, and he'll update this as the work is done. He'll put in notes. Okay, the important thing for him though is that he gets an email straight away, so we don't need to call him, we don't need to send an email. It's immediately in the log, he checks it, he knows what the issue is. That's been very useful. Also, another example just quickly, if I go out, you have to always go save and close to get out, so you can't not save your changes, is we've been using a course register for this project. So all of the centres involved in the project have their courses on here. Now what they're able to do is, as their courses fill up, they can update the details. So the other centres are looking maybe to refer a student across. They can see, just by going to this document, who has space before they bother doing a ring around, so it saves a lot of time. Okay, and that's basically Google Docs. Again, like all the other ones, there's good help files. Always in Google, it's up here on the far right. And they're well worth looking to if you need some help. But like everything else, it's something you need to jump into and start to use. And as always, be open to the new technology and realize that it will actually save time if you use it. Okay, good luck.